So please.
Okay, first, I want to say thank you all for showing up a little early. I really appreciate the support, and I'm glad that you guys are going to listen to me talk about some cool projects I've worked on. So, if you don't know, my name is Elizabeth Walrod, and I think one of the important questions to answer is, how did I get here? I feel like everyone has a different CRT origin story. So originally I came to Berry as a marketing major with a double minor in art and math, and then I took one art class and one math class and then decided that that just was not for me. So luckily that one art class I did take was Art 102, which is a prereq for a lot of CRT classes. And I made friends with a lot of CRT majors and talked about all the cool projects they were working on and a lot of like how a lot of them were double majors and how it was a good double major. And so I ended up taking creative computing and fell in love with it, fell in love with the learning process and loved coding. And then since then have kind of just jumped in head first. And so I would now define myself as a marketing and creative technologies double major with an economics minor. And so throughout my time at Berry and through the creative tech program, one of the overarching themes throughout my work is, as displayed on the screen, exploring and advocating for aesthetic, sustainable fashion through design and strategic branding. And so I'm going to go through a few examples of projects that I've worked on that help to pave this path through this theme throughout my years. So the first one is the curved clutch. This was a final project that I worked on, and I really wanted to explore how I could push the limits of materials, specifically looking at acrylic. I love technology and fashion and have just really loved acrylic pieces. They were very popular at the time of this project, and so just really wanted to see if I could curve cut acrylic because I'd never really seen that done successfully before. And so one of the main goals of this project was to work through that innovative process and push the material to its limits. So the end product for this project was 5 identical purses, and as you can see, this was then cut out on the laser cutter before they were put together, and then those were the 5 identical ones. And so, as I said, one of the main goals was the innovative use of material. I again learned a lot from this process to see how far I could push materials, and would love to extrapolate that into further materials, such as you'll see later on in my presentation. I've worked with different types of vegan leather and have just tried to make this as sustainable as possible, researched a lot into like recycled plastic fashion and all that kind of stuff, and really a big interest of mine. But one of the main things in this project was I did a lot of what I'm going to call pre-prototyping. So I think I went through about 7 versions before I even got to one that actually worked. And I think the first 4 or 5 versions of that, I didn't get one that didn't crack. So I did a lot of pre-prototyping and did a lot of iteration on those designs. But that actually helped me a lot in the production process, because once I started producing them, it was a lot easier because I'd gone through all the nitty-gritty stuff and was able to just produce them very efficiently. And this project taught me a lot about the production process and how to manage that entire process as well. And then I would say one of the major goals of this project also was to not only make it aesthetic, but to make it functional. And this goes back to the pushing the material to its limit. How can I make it beautiful and pretty, but also still functional and still able to be put together in an efficient and effective way. The second project I'm going to talk about is this cropped leather jacket. So this project, I really wanted to focus on not only making an aesthetic pattern, but also making it out of like limited materials. This was made fully out of scrap materials from other projects, and I just wanted to see kind of what I could do with that. So this video right here shows kind of the process. I made the entire pattern from scratch and made it fit perfectly to my measurements, and did a lot of iteration on it. And I really wanted to make it super polished, super clean, and super personalized. Since I'm very short, a lot of cropped things are super cropped on me. And so I wanted to see if I could do something to fit my proportions the way that I like. And so, as I said, one of the main goals of this was that sustainability factor in order to use those scrap materials, see what I can make out of it. And as you saw in the video, I was like in a basement making this, and I think one of the main goals that I learned from this was that sustainability doesn't have to be glamorous, but you can get a lot of glamour and a really clean product out of using sustainable practices. And then again, two other goals were pattern design. This was my first big step into making something custom, which was super exciting. And then I, again, wanted to make it super polished, super clean, and just spend about, I want to say like 4 or 5 days straight, just like cleaning it up and making it as good as possible. And then the third project I'm going to talk about is Vintag. So this was stemmed from my experience thrift shopping and just wearing a lot of sustainable and secondhand clothes, that a lot of people do want to shop more sustainably, and that a lot of people want to style these unique, fun vintage pieces, but either don't know where to shop or don't know how to shop or or how to style them. And then there's also a segment of the market that still doesn't know about fast fashion and the harmful effects of fast fashion. So this was stemmed from that background and wanting to educate people not only on how to style it, but also how to be more sustainable and shop, as I say here, shop with integrity, how to shop more sustainably and just implement those sustainable practices. So Vintag is now officially an LLC, and it is a partnership between me and one of my best friends. And so a few goals for this project were, again, the idea of unique styled pieces. We really wanted to be able to bridge that gap between people who want to shop sustainably and want to have a cool style, but just don't know how, and to pair pieces with consumers. And then again, the education piece, throughout our social medias, we have a lot of information about sustainability, about how to style things. Like all of this, we have them laid out. We have docs and docs of questions, et cetera, et cetera. But this is, you can see on this table here, we even have like abstracts from papers written about fast fashion and how to style it. And they're just trying to push that education factor. Two things that, or a few things that this has taught me is about partnerships in entrepreneurship. I've done a lot of solo ventures, which is great, but this was definitely almost a 50-50 partnership, and it has been great. We really balance each other out and have been able to divide the work as evenly as possible and lean on our strengths, which has been very helpful. This has also taught me a lot about sales. I have done a lot. Obviously, we've done, I think, 3 markets at this point, and then also online sales. And then we've done a lot of selling and marketing through social media, which I will get into now. So as I said, we do have a website up, so we can shop through the website, and that is one of our main forms of online selling. And then these are some screenshots from our Instagram page. So all the comment or all the captions on all those images have educational aspects of sustainable fashion, and then we really tried to lean into the more viral parts of social media. So the reels and then the carousels on Instagram are the most applicable for that. And then I wanted to highlight some impressions that we made. So we started this page in August, and between August and December, we were able to reach 2.3 thousand different accounts. And since then, as you can see, we've reached almost 400% more than that in the past 90 days, which is great. That doesn't mean, obviously, that we have tons and tons of followers, but that just means that people are seeing our content, which is really exciting. Also, one important thing to note is that right here, our engaged audience is a lot of non-followers, which although 15 and 9 are smaller numbers, if you think percentage-wise, that 9 followers is people that aren't following us but are seeing our stuff and then will become followers. And that is, we need to work on trying to get those people to follow us, and that is our next venture, but that is a very good start. And then another thing I wanted to note was that our gender split, a lot of women-owned businesses have a lot of women followers, which is great, but I think it's really good that we also have 40% male followers, and we are really trying to keep that audience as well. We're trying to be as inclusive as possible. And that brings us to my capstone. So I decided to go enterprise, which with a brand named Verand, and it is streetwear style vegan leather handbags. And this stemmed from me not being able to find any unique, artistic, fun pieces that were also ethical and vegan. A lot of leather is a lot of like higher end stuff is leather, and one of the main drawbacks of vegan leather or pleather is the idea that it is not durable or sustainable, which is just not true. So the mission statement for this is to promote ethically made products by creating high quality, unique, handmade vegan leather goods, obviously starting with handbags, but hoping to extrapolate that after graduation. So I decided to split this up through design goals. So my first design goal was to be able to create some cool, unique bags. And so I ended up making, you can see at the front right here, I ended up making 6 bags and selling 4 of them. And I ended up doing 2 collections. So this is from the first collection, and then those 3 are from the second collection. And I was able to buy all my material in bulk at the beginning and really just have, once I got the process down, just have a lot of creative liberty, which was really, really fun. And then I wanted to highlight this as well. This was my first prototype, which was gigantic and bulky and not good. But I was able to work through the process of making a pattern that fit all the goals that I wanted it to. And then this is the final product that I ended up with. So I just think that that really shows the iterative process that we are preached to in CRT. And then my second design goal was to implement in-person and online sales in order to make profit. I have all of the breakdown laid out here, but overall, I did make a profit of $239. I had 2 collections and sold them at a little varying prices because the first collection I felt personally was still a little bit rough around the edges, and wanted to make something that was more polished for the second collection. And the total cost per bag, including labor, etc., was $51, and then my total profit was $239 for all the bags sold so far. And then again, I did a lot of my third design goal was to be able to spread information through social media and to count that on the number of impressions. So these 2 videos show just a few examples of like either how the bags are made. I did a lot of like education piece like I did in VinTag as well. And just tried to show and not tell as much as possible, especially on social media. And again, focused on the reels, the carousels, and then also on TikTok because of the virality. And then so TikTok impressions, I had around 1,700, and then Instagram Reels impressions specifically was around 3,000, and that's not counting likes or comments, that's just counting impressions, people that saw the videos. So one question, is this sustainable? What am I gonna do with this now? So I would love to continue this project. I've loved it. I think that I will have to go on a hiatus a little bit until I get settled into my next